They claim the James Webb Space Telescope spotted a large object about 10 light years away.
The James Webb Space Telescope.
The James Webb Telescope?
James Webb is performing even better than expected.
You know that feeling when you confidently submit an assignment and then realize you answered the wrong question entirely? Yeah. Humanity may have just done that with the universe, because the James Webb Space Telescope, the most expensive space camera ever built, was supposed to confirm our understanding of the cosmos. Instead, it may have just exposed that modern cosmology has the scientific equivalent of IKEA instructions written by a raccoon. And the terrifying part? The deeper Webb looks into space, the less our universe makes sense. Galaxies appearing way too early, black holes growing like they're on cosmic steroids, and now, evidence that the universe is expanding faster than physics says it should, which is awkward, because physics usually likes being right. But before we get into the discovery that's making cosmologists sweat through their PhDs, we need to understand the one number causing this entire scientific meltdown, and trust me, this gets weird fast. The entire universe basically runs on one cosmic speed limit called the Hubble constant. Think of it like the universe's inflation rate, except instead of groceries becoming expensive, entire galaxies are socially distancing from each other at millions of miles per hour. The idea goes back to astronomer Edwin Hubble, who discovered something absolutely insane. Almost every galaxy in the universe is moving away from us, which means the universe itself is expanding. Not exploding outward from one spot like a Hollywood bomb scene, but stretching everywhere all at once, like raisin bread dough in the oven if the raisins had existential dread. Now here's where things get spicy. Scientists developed two ways to measure how fast this expansion is happening, and the universe responded with, "Cool story. Here are two completely different answers." The first method looks at the early universe. Astronomers study something called the cosmic microwave background, basically the leftover heat from the Big Bang. It's like looking at baby pictures of the universe, except instead of an awkward haircut, it's glowing radiation from 13.8 billion years ago. Using this ancient light, scientists built an incredibly successful model of cosmology that predicts how fast the universe should be expanding today. And according to those calculations, the expansion rate should be around 67 kilometers per second per megaparsec. Which sounds made up, but stay with me. Now enters method number 2. Instead of looking at the baby universe, scientists measured galaxies around us right now. To do this, they used special stars called Cepheid variables, stars that pulse in brightness with clock-like precision. They're basically the universe's version of standardized measuring tape, and when astronomers used these stars to calculate the expansion rate, they got a completely different number, around 73 kilometers per second per megaparsec. Now listen. That difference sounds tiny, like the scientific equivalent of arguing whether pineapple belongs on pizza. But in cosmology, this is catastrophic, because if your calculations about the entire universe are off by nearly 10%, that's not a typo. That's reality walking into your office and flipping your desk over. Scientists named this problem the Hubble Tension, which honestly sounds way too calm. It should have been called physics.exe has stopped working. For years, researchers hoped this was just some boring measurement error. Maybe dust clouds distorted the data, maybe telescopes made tiny mistakes, maybe somebody in a lab accidentally sneezed on a spreadsheet, and then the James Webb Telescope arrived, the one machine powerful enough to settle the debate once and for all. Except Webb didn't fix the crisis. It made it worse, much worse, because when Webb rechecked the measurements with insane precision, it confirmed the terrifying possibility that our entire model of the universe might be incomplete. And that was only the beginning. Because the next thing Webb discovered, that's where cosmology goes completely off the rails. At this point, scientists were still trying to stay calm. You know, professional scientist calm. The kind where someone says, "Interesting anomaly," while internally screaming into the void. Because maybe the expansion problem was just one weird crack in the system, except Webb kept finding more, and every new discovery felt less like small correction and more like the universe was actively trolling astrophysicists. Because when Webb looked deeper into the early universe, it found galaxies that absolutely should not exist. And I don't mean slightly unexpected, I mean showing up to a medieval sword fight with an iPhone levels of wrong. See, according to the standard model of cosmology, the early universe should have been messy. Tiny baby galaxies, chaotic blobs of stars, half-finished cosmic construction projects. The universe was supposed to be in its awkward teenage phase, but Webb looked back over 13 billion years and found galaxies that looked fully grown, massive, structured, organized, like the universe skipped puberty and showed up with a mortgage. Some of these galaxies appeared just a few 100 million years after the Big Bang. That's basically cosmic infancy. To put this into perspective, imagine walking into a hospital nursery and finding a fully employed 40-year-old man filing taxes. That's how absurd this is. Scientists genuinely didn't think galaxies this mature could form that quickly. There simply wasn't enough time. And then Webb somehow made things even worse, because inside these impossibly early galaxies, it found gigantic black holes. Now, black holes are already terrifying enough. They're basically gravity throwing a tantrum. But supermassive black holes are on another level entirely. These things can contain millions, even billions, of times the mass of our Sun. And according to current physics, they should take billions of years to grow. Webb found them less than 600 million years after the Big Bang, which is cosmology's version of finding a fully built skyscraper in the middle of a freshly poured parking lot. Scientists were like, okay, who accelerated the universe? Because that's the pattern Webb keeps seeing. Stars forming too fast, galaxies evolving too fast, black holes growing too fast, the universe expanding too fast. Everything is happening ahead of schedule. It's like the cosmos accidentally hit 2 times playback speed. And here's where this becomes genuinely unsettling. The standard model of cosmology wasn't some random guess. This thing has been physics' golden child for decades. It explained the Big Bang, the cosmic microwave background, galaxy distribution, dark matter behavior. It's been so successful that scientists thought Webb would basically arrive and put the final decorative cherry on top. Instead, Webb walked in like, yeah, about that. And now physicists are facing a possibility they really don't enjoy thinking about. What if we're missing a fundamental ingredient of reality itself? Not a small mistake, not a calibration issue, an entirely missing piece of the universe which has opened the floodgates to theories that sound absolutely insane, except some of them might actually be true. Some researchers think there could have been a mysterious form of early dark energy pumping extra acceleration into the young universe. Basically, cosmic caffeine. Others think Einstein's theory of gravity itself might break down across enormous distances. Imagine spending a century treating general relativity like the ultimate rulebook, only to discover the universe quietly installed a patch update nobody noticed. And then there are the really wild ideas. Some scientists wonder if we live inside a gigantic cosmic void, a weird low-density bubble that makes expansion look faster than it actually is, which means our entire understanding of the universe could be distorted simply because of where we happen to live. That's like trying to map Earth while trapped inside a foggy Walmart parking lot. But believe it or not, the scariest implication isn't that our theories are wrong. It's that Webb may be revealing a universe far stranger than we ever imagined. And the next discovery pushes that idea into full science fiction territory. Because here's the thing nobody expected. The James Webb Telescope wasn't supposed to start a scientific identity crisis. It was supposed to end one. Instead, every image Webb sends back feels like the universe whispering, "You still have no idea how this place works." And honestly, That's what makes this moment so important. Science doesn't advance when everything works perfectly. Science advances when reality breaks the rules. Right now, cosmology is standing at the edge of a massive turning point. Maybe we discover a brand new form of energy. Maybe gravity itself needs rewriting. Maybe the early universe evolved in ways we never imagined. Or maybe, and this is the craziest possibility of all, the universe is far older, stranger, and more complex than our current models can even comprehend. One thing is certain. Webb has officially shattered the illusion that we had the cosmos figured out. And somewhere out there, hidden in the darkness between galaxies, is the missing piece that changes everything. The scary part? We might be closer than ever to finding it, and when we do, physics may never look the same again. If you enjoyed this journey into the cosmic unknown, hit subscribe, because the universe is getting weirder by the week. And trust me, we're just getting started.